Hello everyone. Hi Mom and Dad. Wow, 50 years of wedded bliss. That's half a century and a mighty long time to be married, particularly to the same individual. Well, congratulations to you both. You know, in this day and age, some people just don't take the institution of marriage seriously enough. They seem to make a career out of hopping in and out of marriage with about as much spontaneity as channel surfing late night TV. Yeah, marriage today feels like the Rodney Dangerfield of relationships. It just doesn't get any respect. Well, I just wanted to say how much I appreciate your marriage to each other continues to stand firm as an inspiration and encouragement to us all, your progeny, your family, and your friends. 50 years, you know, to me, time always seems to pass quickly when you look back on it and real slowly when you're looking ahead. But in this case, 50 years of looking after each other must seem like a whole lifetime. Consider this, 50 years ago, the hula hoop and NASA were new. The average annual household income was $5,000, and a U.S. postage stamp cost less than a nickel. And gasoline was only a quarter. The Hot 100 pop singles was launched just 1 month before that Sunday you were married. And the #1 single, Poor Little Fool by Ricky Nelson. Hey, I'm just saying. You know, I was talking to Dad the other day on the phone, trying to get a sense of the true secret of his successful marriage. And he told me this little known story. Now, many of you probably do not know this, but on their honeymoon, Mom and Dad visited the Grand Canyon, which, by the way, was still being formed at the time. And they did what I've always wanted to do, which was take a mule ride right down to the bottom of the canyon. Yes, kids, this was Mimi's very first experience with a real jackass. Well, anyways, the trail down to the canyon floor can be pretty scary in places, but them mules are pretty used to it, and they hardly ever slip. Well, except for the one Mother was on, apparently. The first time her mule tripped, Mom was a little startled, but she looked up and she just said, "1." And they continued on down the trail some more, and pretty soon her little mule tripped a second time, right on the edge of this 10-foot cliff. Well, I told you the canyon was still being formed. Well, this gave Mom quite a fright, but again, she only said but a single word, a little more sharply this time, and with that one eyebrow that always goes, you know, that thing that she does. 2. Well, presently the mule stumbled yet a third time, whereupon Mother jumped off that mule, whipped out her .357, and she shot that poor animal right there on the trail. Apparently, concealed carry hadn't even been invented yet. Dad, just sitting there on his mule, taking this all in, was mortified, and he strongly objected to his bride's sudden penchant for violence. Well, Mom just glared at him a little bit. She snarled at him, "1." Well, I expect Dad has been towing the line ever since. How fortunate we all are to have such terrific role models who consistently display God's divine plan of marriage and how they've dwelt together these past 50 years. And I'm sure it hasn't been easy. From the early days when Dad was a young Air Force airman with a young wife and 2 darling, well-behaved little boys, struggling to make ends meet through those cold Minnesota winters, to the glorious tropical days of Guam, we all seemed happy enough to be growing up together, still close and yet so far away from the family and friends back in the States. And then the post-Guam era, when children morphed into adults Well, some of us did. And spawned their own iterations of the Anderson aggregate. Brought with it their well-deserved retirement, the culmination of a rich and splendid career. And then there was this house from hell up on Trinity Ranch. But you know what? The thing is, they stuck by each other through it all, through thick and thin, through the bad times as well as the good. And that's the significant point here. That's their secret of success. Always true, ever faithful, and loving, and kind, compassionate, and understanding, and yes, forgiving. But that's no secret at all, is it? It's God's perfect plan in a nutshell. Plain and simple for anyone to see. Marriage between man and woman is the ultimate allegory of God's love for mankind. What greater gift could parents give their children than the witness and testimony of God's love? What greater calling could there be? And they do this consistently for all of us in the daily observance of their own wedding vows exchanged 50 years ago, which is truly a genuine inspiration to us all. Congratulations again, Mom and Dad, and thanks so much for giving us all the truest gift of life.